how's it going? It's Albert. Some of you may call me LB, some of you may call me Noble Soul, some of you may call me Illuminate, and Mr. Financial Literacy. Whichever one you want, it's okay with me. But yeah, I just wanted to talk to you guys today on the topic of mental health and medication. It's a topic that I've been wanting to talk to you guys about for the longest time, and finally mustered up the courage. And the reason is, as many of you may have known or know at all, that I've actually been dealing with anxiety, off and on, severely to not so severe, for the better part of 10 years now, plus or minus. And, I've actually, used medication to help with it. So that's why I wanted to give my opinion on that. And again, just wanted to state the obvious. Hey, I'm not a doctor. I'm not a psychiatrist, not a therapist, psychologist, whatever. So whatever I say is not, of course, may not be the best thing for you. Always want to consult your own doctors and psychiatrists when it comes to treating yourself. But I'm merely offering my own opinion on it and what's worked for me and what didn't work for me, and my overall experience. Because, the thing is, I've talked to a lot of people, and many of them, when it comes down to talking about taking medication, they completely just kind of are against it. And I can see why. No one wants to rely on medication for their health and things like that. But I also want to remind people, especially people that are suffering for, deep depression, severe anxiety day in and day out, where it's affecting your life and you can't do things normally, go to work, go to school. It just brings you down to a different person, Then after trying other things, that's when I'm saying, hey, you should check out, maybe try some actual medication, see if it helps. So that's the point I want to bring on it, as keep your options open, because at the end of the day, you're trying to make yourself feel better. And if you need that little bit of, assistance from medication to get you there, then, by all means, don't be ashamed. So yeah, I'll get into a little bit quick of background of how, the anxiety first came. I started, interacting with that. So man, take y'all back, I think it was 2009. I was a junior in high school. Shout out Pi High. Junior in high school. And I think it was the last day of school. I remember what happened was, I was just, got home from school, was chilling with a buddy of mine, sitting on my porch, chit-chatting, nothing crazy. And it's funny because all of a sudden I started to feel my body, my chest area specifically, and right on my upper abdomen, a weird sensation. I didn't really know what it was. It wasn't painful, but it was just uncomfortable, and it just lasted for a while, and it came out of the blue. It came out of the blue, and I didn't know what it was. And the crazy thing about, especially anxiety and depression, is typically people experience that after some kind of life event or some kind of trauma, but the case with me, that was nowhere near the case. It was just, like I said, in high school, finished my junior year, entering my summer to go into senior year of high school. So as you can, like any average high school kid, nothing crazy. Yeah, I would go to parties and stuff, but nothing crazy in my life. Household was completely fine. Relationship with my parents and my brother and sister, completely fine. Relationship with all my friends, completely fine. No hardships, no relationships going sour, nothing of that. There was no trouble I was in, nothing. So it just came out of the blue, and that's what made it so strange, because, it just came out of nowhere, and I didn't know what hit me, So back to that day, I remember, I felt that uncomfortableness, and that was the first sign of it. I remember, shortly thereafter, more symptoms started appearing more severely too. So I started feeling more shortness of breath, tightness in my chest, that uneasiness throughout my whole chest area. And then slowly after that, little by little, the anxiety started creeping in. Couldn't relax. I couldn't just stay calm. Mind would go crazy, overthinking, and to the point where it got so bad that I actually started having panic attacks, which basically means I couldn't, stop from, breathing so fast, catch my breath, that kind of thing. And I would have to really just shut everything else down and try to focus on catching my breath. And mind you, again, at that time it was still summertime, so I wasn't in school yet, but as something I would have to get a hold of by the time school starts. So I had time, thankfully, to kind of just let it take its effect on me, let it take its toll. But again, at first I was just scared, what the hell is wrong with me? I don't know if it's something to do with my heart. I thought it was something wrong with my heart, and there's, big problem, and I'm just gonna drop dead one day, So the symptoms started getting to the point where panic attacks would happen out of nowhere. I can be at home, just chilling, relaxing, sitting on my couch. All of a sudden, start feeling anxious. It will lead to a panic attack. There you go. The next 30 minutes, I'm in total panic mode, trying to catch my breath, and I cannot relax. Heart rate just pumping so fast, I think my heart's gonna jump out of my chest. And on top of that, because those were so intense that, every night I would try to go to sleep, was so difficult because I would just toss and turn, my mind would go nuts, my heart rate would be pumping, and I could not go to sleep. Most of these nights I would literally stay up until I saw the sunrise sometimes, and it was funny, I felt like that relief when I saw the sun, because I know I made it through another day, and then I would get tired and fall asleep. But there's many dark nights. What I mean, it just felt like my world was just gonna end because this, anxiety was so bad. It drained my energy. Felt like I was just gonna drop dead. I was not gonna wake up. It just got so bad. It just took control of my whole life, where I just literally had to shut everything else off and focus. I would just lay in bed, had no energy. And that's what led to, feeling the depressions, because the anxiety was so intense. It was using up all this energy from my body that it just completely drained me, and my mood was just terrible. My energy was so low. I was, just easily agitated, barely wanted to talk to people. And that's what led to depression, where I just didn't want to get out of bed, and I was like, what the hell is going on, So, then school year starts, senior year, and I'm still dealing with that stuff. I'll be in class, trying to take a test, and oh my God, I could not catch my breath. I'll be like this, and I'll be trying to hold it in too at the same time. That's the messed up part. I didn't want to freak out other classmates and my friends, so I would try my best to keep it all in and not let them know that, dude, I'm fucking panicking right now. And so I had to deal with it. I kind of just didn't know. I just went about my life as best as I could. Still went to parties, stuff like that, not gonna lie. Even at a party atmosphere with so many people, oh my God, my anxiety would just through the roof. I shouldn't even have parties at that time, but whatever. So then, the school year starts, and now it's affecting, my life. I can't take a test without getting a panic attack, or just feeling super anxious. I can't relax. And I couldn't jump in the car sometimes and drive, or I couldn't be in the backseat. If I felt claustrophobic, I would just go into panic mode. So yeah, it just affected every aspect of my life. And obviously my parents were aware of it, and eventually, I remember I got admitted to the ER a few times within that time frame. Shortly after, the panic attacks were pretty intense. And just to make sure, make sure nothing, physically is wrong with me. My heart's okay, my lungs okay. After everything, all the tests came back, and I'm okay. And then it has to do something with your your chemicals in your brain. And basically what the anxiety is, it's because you have low levels of serotonin. So after going to actual see a psychiatrist, this was now December of 2009. I finally went to see a psychiatrist and said, hey, you know what? Well, based on everything, you're healthy. You're just having these panic disorder, anxiety disorder, depressive moods and thoughts and stuff like that. I think there's a solution that we should try, and they said, we should put you on an antidepressant. And I said, wait a second, antidepressant? Like, well, what do I need? I'm not depressed. I'm having, anxiety attacks. And they said, well, the way this medication works is because you're low on serotonin. This is basically produces more or increases your receptors to induce more. In the long term, you'll start feeling better. It'll be heightened. You'll feel better. You'll have probably less or no panic attacks. And I said, you know what? Okay, whatever. Like at this point, I'm just over all the sleepless nights, all the anxiety, all the bad stuff, and not being able to live life like a regular, senior in high school. Like it was just, I was tired of it. I said, okay, let's give it a shot. And they said, yeah, the thing with, it takes about a month for you to feel the effects. It's not like taking a Xanny and feeling it right away, calming you down. And that's one thing I did actually, I might have taken on some occasions when the panic attacks are so bad I couldn't control them or couldn't stop them. Obviously you can't, it just comes. So then I did try Xannies a couple times, but I didn't want to get prescribed it and be on it like, consistently, because that can be very addictive. So I said, let's do the Zoloft. And on top of that, their recommended is, consistently see a therapist, and also have, go to group therapy. I said, sure, anything I can do that's going to help me get better, because I want to finish the rest of my senior year and then, go into summer and then college, all well, make sure I pass all my classes, things like that. So I said, yeah, whatever I can do to better myself at this time, because obviously it's my life is being heavily affected by the panic attacks that I cannot just do normal things. So yeah, so I did that. And I remember the first night I got prescribed the Zoloft, I went home, sat on my couch, and it was funny. Just a little side note was this, in case anybody's ever felt this or first time they try it. I took the first pill, and I felt like, like first time you had a beer, you feel that buzz, even off that one. Same thing with that Zoloft, but it was only for the first time. After that, you don't feel that same buzz. And of course, I knew that it was going to take time. So yeah, I would say right about a month later, I actually did start feeling better. Little by little, I started noting, I was having less intense panic attacks. And then eventually, after about a month or two, I would actually have, almost little to no panic attacks. So at that point, I was like, yes, I was so happy, because that's the number one thing I was so afraid of, is just having a panic attack out in public or on somebody, people I don't know, whatever, and just freaking out, I don't want to freak nobody out, So I started feeling better, and I still kept going to therapy, stuff like that, and little by little, I just focused on getting better. And what got me through it all was basically keeping my mindset on never losing hope. Even on those darkest nights, those long nights, tossing and turning, thinking I was gonna not make it. I never lost hope. And I remember this one time specifically. Like, I remember I was just tossing and turning, could not sleep, just battling, everything in my head. And I got out of my room, walked down halfway through the stairway, and I stopped midway. And at this time, it was already like morning. The light was like coming up, the sun was rising, and I stopped midway. I sit down on one of the steps, and I'm just like contemplating life. I'm like, whoa. Why is this going on? I wanted to go tell my parents, hey, this is like, I need to go to the doctor or a hospital or something. But I stopped there and said, you know what, I'm gonna face this on my own. But yeah, despite all those times, I always kept an optimistic point of view, because that's the only thing that held everything together at the end of the day, So I always recommend people, hey, look, again, that's my opinion on it. My experience, worked for me, may not work for everybody. So always consult your doctor, psychiatrist on things that you should take. But my point is, the reason why I made this video is that I don't want people to suffer as much or daily if they're having severe, suicidal thoughts, or just can't get out of bed, or having panic attacks like crazy, can't focus, can't live their life, and they haven't tried medication. It's merely because they don't want to take medicine or just think it's shameful or whatever. Like I want people to have that as an option for themselves to better their lives, because at the end of the day, we want to feel better. We want to be able to do the things we normally do. So that's the reason why I made this video, is to let people know, hey, it worked for me. It may not work for you, but give it a shot. And then from there, make sure that it's not your first go-to. You always want to make sure that you're physically taking care of your body, like moving your body, you know, exercising, of course, lifting weights, because endorphins are the best antidepressant, 100%. That will make you feel better. And then, of course, follow up by, you know, eating well, eating clean. You have to know yourself. You have to know your body. You have to know your mind. Know what's going to make you feel better, and know what isn't. So if you're trying to actually get better, do the things that are going to get you there. And that's pretty much nails down everything I wanted to cover. But yeah, just wanted to let people know that, hey, if you are going through these tough times, like, hey, it's okay. Just make sure that you're actually doing the things that it's going to make you feel better, not just the temporary fixes, like, you know, like drugs and alcohol. So yeah, just wanted to share that with you guys. If there's any questions about anything that I've talked about, again, I'm not a doctor, not a psychiatrist, but, you know, I'd love to speak with anybody who has questions in regards to mental health, in regards to health in general, and or just, hey, needs a friend, needs to let some things off their chest. Love to hear. And this was my first video on anything to do with mental health. So hopefully you found this resourceful, and if there's anything I can do to help you, please let me know. Again, it's Albert Munoz, whatever you want to call me. Thank you guys for watching.